Good morning. This is Ankamet Kaf with TradeOutLoud.com, and today is Wednesday, August 17th, 2016, and it is 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. This is the pre-market game plan. YM. YM has been ranging for the last few hours, about 6 hours into this zone. It is testing 18,500 area, and I found support in this area. Needless to say that looking back on the chart, it has another prior support area right in the same vicinity. So it has been ranging, and it has a very, very tight range, about 20 points. Now, it overall, although it looks weak, this support level here makes it quite bullish. We do have a rising 200 that is pointing into this whole number, and we do have a lot of consolidation. And what we've noticed is that every single time when price has reached this 18,500, it was immediately bought all the way into the proximity of 18,520. So it's quite a bullish environment. So overall, we're in a bullish environment. On the daily chart, we are triggering a daily sell. And we are looking like we want to retrace. And actually, the retracement zone comes into 18,430. So around this area, even 18,420. So it does have room and projection lower. We will watch this area. So we are neutral at this point in YM. It remains one of my favorite minis for this morning. On weakness, I will look for a break below 18,500 for a short. I would place a stop at 18,522, and I will look for targets into this 63 zone. I will look for the next target into 50, and for a last target into 18,420. This is my game plan. If we should become bullish and this area would be bought again, I will look to buy long only over 18,520. This is my criteria. I'm not going to buy the bottom in this case. 18,520 will represent my buy. My stop is going to be a little below the whole number, and I'm going to look for a first target into 45 and 50. This is going to be my first target, and it has room to run into that area. My secondary target is going to be 18,580, and we're going to go ahead with projected targets into 18,600. This is my bias for YM, and YM is my pick of the day. But let's move on and continue our analysis for the rest of the E-minis. ES has a weak consolidation as well. It is basing below 2180, which is one of my favorite areas here. Price did get rejected. It looks like it wants to come in even more, but needless to say, 2175 is support area. As long as this 2175 does not get bought and it remains weak into this area, there is room to continue lower into 2170. If you should decide on a short in this area, remember only below 2175, and your stop needs to be 2178 and change. And you're going to look for a target into 2170. This is the target that you're going to look for ES. NQ. Oops. All right, here we have it. NQ. NQ at this moment continues to be weak. It is once again at this whole number area. We have been going back and forth with this number, and it's a reference number. In this case for today, even though we're a little bit neutral because the overall trend is super strong, we do have triggers for a sell, for a continuation lower, but we are in a very, very tough area here. Whole number, tons of support when you look at the left of the chart. So if the price is going to hold this area, gonna hold 47.90 area, we can actually look for another continuation higher. Projected targets, this is the sloppiest one. It's not my favorite, but if you should see a better pattern develop from the open and maybe around 10 o'clock or as you're getting close to 10:30, You can only buy this as a long if it breaks 4807, 48008. Do not buy the bottom in this at the whole number, because this is very, very risky right here, because you don't have a confirmation. You do have an hourly trigger as well. You do have a daily super neutral environment that actually tells us to be very cautious for today. Moving on, so NQ is not one of my favorites, but if it should break 47.94, you look for a continuation lower into 47.80 and 47.70. These are my targets for today for NQ. It's one of the sloppiest ones along with ES. And right now, looking at percentage wise, it's the only one that is in positive territory, NQ. So that's why it's just super, super sloppy, and it doesn't have a clear bias and a clear direction. It looks like the whole number really wants to hold. All right, let's continue with CL. CL continuing to trade in a range, very, very choppy. It has been very choppy in the extended hour session. As you can see here, it's just basing, it's slobbing around. It's just coming back to this whole number, getting bought and pushed a little higher into 46.50. Now, for the buys for today, on the daily chart, as the daily chart suggests, this $47 area, so it made actually a high at 46.73, so very close to 47. 47 is tons of resistance from the daily chart. We have two peaks into that area, and not only that, but we have two bottoms that were formed early in June and end of June, beginning of June and end of June, and we have the peaks that were formed July 12 actually and July 18th. So that is going to make it very, very difficult here. We need to consolidate in this area, but we need to revisit the $47 area before we break above. So, and I think that, we're not definitely going to have a play in CL until we have the oil numbers out. So it's probably going to remain like this in this range until the oil numbers are out. Remember, we're not trading oil numbers. We don't know what the oil numbers are going to be, and it's going to be just a gamble. So for that reason, wait for the oil numbers to come out 10:30, and then wait for the first wave, second wave. I would wait for at least 15 minutes to settle down before we can see the new support resistance level and see what is projected. If we are going to get a shoot up over $47, let it go and look for a pullback into a $47 for an additional buy. And if it breaks $46 area, we're going to look for weakness. We're going to look for it. But at this moment, I am not very bearish in it. I would become bearish in this if $45.30 is going to be violated. So that's the only reason. That's my only area. Last but not least, GC. And actually, I kind of like the way GC is setting up here. It is in a very tight range. Price is getting rejected from 13.50. If we should get the market lower, chances are that GC might continue higher. So a break over 13.50 can project it higher into 13.54, 13.55, and all the way with a void into 56 and 60. These are going to be the targets for today. If price is going to be rejected from 13.50 and if we're going to get a revisit of the 13.46 area, 13.47 area, a break below this area might take it lower into 13.46. Now, what I want to look at is the actual 2-minute, because I do like this trade. And I want to show you guys. Okay, just a second. Let me just take these off. Okay. When the projector is on, very, very tough. Okay. All right, here we go. And I'm going to move to the 2-minute just to show you what I see. Okay, so I took extended hours off so you can see the range. So since the open at 820, it has been ranging in this area. So it has only a 2-point range. Any breach of this range below 1348 can project it lower into the 1346 area and lower. We've mentioned the targets before. It has room to fall all the way into 1340. So for that reason, we're going to watch GC again. So one of my favorites is YM, and my second favorite is GC. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, we do have a webinar that is starting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to announce a surprise and a surprise class at this webinar. So please join and you'll find out more. In the meantime, if you need any information on our products or services, contact us at info@tradealoud.com and visit our website for more information on our classes. Thank you much for joining today, and I wish you all have a profitable trading day.